Hello everyone, and welcome back to my Final Fantasy XIV Let's Play, and today we're going to be going into Dzemael Darkhold, is that how you pronounce it? Yeah, we're going there. For my Grand Company quest, because I've been putting it off, and I've been putting it off. And needless to say, I'm going to dread the next one even more, because it's over in frickin' Vale, which I've heard nothing but bad stories about, but... Dzemael Darkhold is not a terrible dungeon. It is very chaotic if you get the kind of group I did, which, as far as I understand it, according to them, that this is like a normal thing, because that was the first question that came up in party chat was, can I just pull everything on the first floor? That moment when you're completely new to a dungeon, and we're gonna be speedrunning this crap. Hey, it makes you feel like you're one of the group, I guess, I don't know. But as a monk, I'm not exactly the AoE paragon. And that is a really annoying sound effect, I must admit, but thankfully they didn't spam that crap. But the hardest fight, funny enough, was the first fight. And I say funny enough because the first boss fight, in theory, is really easy. We just kind of ignored the one mechanic that you really should never ignore on any boss fight ever. But we did it. We did it somehow, some way. And as far as everything else goes in this place, it's simple tank and spank. Just try not to pull too much at one time. It's pretty easy, obvious stuff, but, you know, healer needed a minute. I'm assuming he needed to go to the bathroom, get a, you know, cup of coffee, something. I don't know what he's doing. He didn't really say. So now that we're all ready, and I don't really remember what the tank did here. I remember the tank took quite a while, but Dzemael Darkhold is famous, or as some would say, probably infamous, because before they nerfed it, what you usually did in Dzemael Darkhold, as far as I understand it, is that you pulled everything before the boss, which is basically what we did. And then you kill it, and then you, if you're in a Party Finder group, don't do this in Duty Finder, but in Party Finder group, you exited and you re-entered, and just got it all, because it was really fast. As long as you have a decent group for it, which we have a decent group for it. It's not optimal, because I'm a monk, but... used to be you got quite a bit of XP. They nerfed that because I think they put the XP into the bosses because they didn't want people to just do that. They wanted their people to, you know, do things the proper way and actually fight the bosses, not just ignore them and leave. So I'm guessing that was the rationale, and I understand it. It was just, you know, annoying. And you see that blue thing we just kind of ran right by? Yeah, you can't ignore that later in the dungeon. I don't think that one's needed. I don't know what that one's for. We didn't actually do it, but let's just say this next if you're a monk and you've AoE'd in this situation before, you're probably gonna cringe because I did this like the worst possible way of doing it. Because I'm not used to doing this kind of pull, damn it. I'm used to being a monk and doing things in single target. This, I mean, yeah, I'm hitting with Armor the Destroyer on about 20 things, but I'm not doing crap for damage as far as, you know, the damage goes. And this is another thing where if you're AoEing as a monk, pay attention to what I'm doing wrong here. I should be using Invigorate right now. I'm not using Invigorate right now. It was stupid, but I didn't do it. I forgot AoE just drains your TP. So if you're in this position, use Invigorate. So you don't run out of TP like I did here. I think it was after the next AoE I went, what? Why can't I do anything? Right, I'm out of TP. Whoopsie. So, again, if you're new to speed pulling and things like this, you're probably not gonna get everything 100%. I mean, I'm AoEing terribly right now, but I'm trying to AoE. And our mage is doing a hell of a job holying. I mean, he's going above and beyond, man. Well, actually not above and beyond, because I mean, if you're on these purple splotches of land near these crystals, what happens is you get a damage reduction buff. So you don't take near as much damage, obviously, because the tank can't just, you know, tank all this normally. I mean, hell, that AoE only hit me for 200 something. So at this point, I'm just like, I'm out of TP because my stupid self just did not use Invigorate at the right time, so now we just gotta single target the stuff down, but it's no big deal. I mean, yeah, it would have died probably 20 seconds faster, maybe, if I'd actually rationed my TP using Invigorate, but I mean, it's not a big, huge deal. Now, if, you know, we're under-geared, maybe we might be in trouble, but even with this buff, you really should never be in trouble in this first pull. That's why this was so popular, because it's foolproof almost. As long as the healer puts like a regen, and then that's it, you're done. That's it. Game over. And this is the entire first room of the dungeon. This is the entire first third of the dungeon, actually, sorry. And, yeah. Get used to AoEing, I guess. I mean, it's good practice. If I don't practice AoEing, I'll never get any better, and I never learn anything, I guess, so... I'm just embarrassed at my performance as a monk as an AoE, because I missed quite a few of my rock breaker opportunities, and I know I did. But, after this, you gotta stand in those blue things, that's how you do it. You have to stand in them for quite a while. The more people that are in it, the less you have to stand in it. And what this does is it unlocks doors, or at least this one and the next one do. I don't know what the first one did, but that's what they normally do. And that, the all-seeing eye right there, is the boss. So, if you're not on a purple thing, that big blood-looking AoE, that hurts. That hurts like hell. I think it's called Eyes on Me. I'm not sure the exact name of it, but I'm pretty sure the name's Eyes on Me. Now, the entire first boss fight is all about the crystal gimmick, which I brought up earlier. You get a damage defense buff. The problem with this whole thing is, every so often, the crystals just go away. Because, you know, they didn't want to make it just easy mode, just sit in one place the whole flipping time, you know, that's... You don't want that. You want some semblance of a challenge, I guess. I didn't use blood for blood there, that was a terrible mistake. But, beyond that, at least I used critical strike on a dot. Can dots crit? I don't know if dots can crit. Now the strategy is, after they dim, or they go away, you're supposed to move to the next crystal. That's the gimmick. That's the one gimmick in the fight. And we didn't really do it all that well. But apparently if you have this level of gear, you don't need to. I guess, I don't know. But, yeah, you can see how this fight's gonna go. Ads spawn, you really probably should just ignore the ads, because you don't really have to do anything with them if you're on the purple stuff, so it just takes time away from killing the boss, more than anything. So, yeah, the all-seeing eye is not a really bad thing. I don't know what happens if you try and fight it outside the boss room. I'm assuming you probably can't kill it, but I don't know. Now we should be running to one of the other purple things. And I'm like, are we gonna move? Are we gonna move? We're moving, right. I don't know where to move. This is my first time in the room. I didn't really get a good look at it before. So then I noticed, oh god. That was a misclick. I meant to hit sprint and then invigorate, not invigorate and then sprint. That's where I'm face palming right now, and I'm embarrassed as hell. Because that was oh jeez. How badly can you screw up, Barrock? You had one job, don't run out of TP, and then you go and sprint. And because of this, the fight took so much longer. Oh man, I did not deserve a commendation for after this dungeon, but I got one. Because I actually, you know, talked. I think was the whole reason I got the commendation. But you can see my damage is just crap, because I have no TP. So make sure if you're melee, don't whoopsie and sprint at the wrong time. Or if you do sprint, make sure you don't invigorate first. That would have saved me, and everybody was a whole lot of trouble. And at this point, I'm like, oh, we can go. Oh, no. Well, crap. I think I didn't get hit by the eyes on me, just because I... Oh, man. And you notice I'm even misdoing my buffs. I just took away my buff. Oh, crap. I gotta pay more attention in the future, man. It's just when you're... I'm nervous at this time, because I'm like, oh, God, I don't know if I screwed this whole thing up, or... You know, I'm screwing everything up here, or what, and I just got nervous, and that doesn't help anybody, and... At least I have the common decency to feel bad. That's something, right? I mean... That's gotta help. I really should have been using Second Wind here to help the healer out, but I just did not do it for some reason or another. I don't know why. I guess I was tunnel visioning, and tunnel visioning is the enemy. So, yeah, don't, like, mimic what I did there. That was, not good. Now we're a third of the way through the dungeon. We're not even 10 minutes into the video. So, you can kind of tell where the time goes in this dungeon, mostly in the second part, which we're coming up to. The third part's not that long. There's 3, what I guess you could call it, levels. The second one is the most time-consuming, because if you're going to wipe, this is the area you're going to wipe in. And, yeah, a lot of times groups will wipe because of the bone nixes right there. If you're a DPS, like me, or a tank for that record, if you have a stun, or an interrupt, like shield bash or whatever that is, I forget what paladins get, but save it. Well, I don't think you can save shield bash, but if you're a DPS, save your stuns. Why save your stuns, Barok? I don't know, but save it for that. Labored Leap, don't let them get that off. I mean, you can see the tank was trying to stun it, but I took the initiative and went, nope, nope, nope. Why? I don't know why. They told me to stun that move, so I stunned the move. I try and do what I'm told, and generally speaking, if I screw up, people don't get mad then, because they know I'm trying. So, yeah. I mean, they didn't. I wasn't expecting a huge paragraph saying, if you don't do this, then this'll happen. I just trusted them. So it's a good idea to do that. Now here's where things can start getting messy, because there are ads here, which I didn't know that, with the patrols. And actually, I don't remember if this was the poll or not, but we got ads during one of these polls, and it was bad. But this is exactly the area you're going to wipe if you're going to wipe in this dungeon, because this is like the dangerous area. If you do something wrong here, it gets amplified so much. Just try not to make sure, or try to make sure that you're not going to pull anything extra, and you'll be fine. I don't even remember why we pulled something extra. Well, at least that one wasn't on me. I remember going, oh god, don't go on me. Oh crap, it was the second Bone Nix, wasn't it? I mean, was this my fault? I don't know. I'm looking at it again, I think it was like everybody's fault. So I'm trying to stun. I tried to stun the one, get away from the other, and I pulled more stuff. That's what it was, crap. Well, you can see it. The first mistake wasn't mine, but the second mistake was, and I own up to it. And at this point, it's just a clusterfuck of just, oh god, at least kill one of these things. I think we're gonna die, but at least kill one of these things. And at this point, it's just mass chaos. At this point, everybody knows it's a wipe, but we're just trying to salvage the situation however we can. Oh god. It just makes me embarrassed for myself, because I'm the one that killed us. I think we could have survived the second Bone Nix, but I pulled 3 extra things. Ah, well. At least these guys were nice. You know, I said sorry, that was my fault. And then, you know, some people will just get pissy, and a lot of people in 14 won't, though. You'll occasionally run into the douchebag, but I've yet to do it. I'm not saying I never will, I'm just saying I haven't yet run into the douche. So if you do screw up like I did there, say you're sorry. Most times people are understanding. If you get the one guy that's just a douchebag, then I don't know what to tell you. I would just ignore it and put my combat text on instead of my party chat. Because you don't want to listen to that, or just leave if you want. I don't really... You'll eat a 15-minute penalty if you do that, but... You know, it's the internet. If you can't take an insult here or there, you're not going to last very long. But thankfully, there is a shortcut. You don't have to run through all that crap again. I'm not sure why they didn't just make the shortcut after this, but I guess they had their reasons. Yeah, his response was, it happens. Which I'm, you know, from what I've heard, that this is the room it happens in, so I don't feel near as bad. It probably helped his attitude knowing he screwed up the first point, and I screwed up the second one. I don't know. I don't remember who pulled the first one. I think the first one got on the tank, so it was like a manageable screw up. But anyway, getting off of our one screw up the entire run, because everything else from here is just smooth sailing as I remember it. Because there's no more Bone Nixes that I remember, or yeah, I don't remember, but not much more to say other than whoopsie. Beyond this, I don't remember too much else as far as danger goes in this dungeon. I keep trying to maximize my Howling Fist, which is not a lot, but an extra 100-something damage on every mob that you can see, you know, it adds up over time. And helps kill them. I was hell-bent trying to just make the run go as fast as possible because I wiped this. But I was a little scared. I'm always scared of using blood for blood if I don't know the dungeon like the back of my hand. Because, you know, I don't know where the next boss is. I don't remember that. I watched a video of this place once, ever. But that was a long time ago, so I didn't know where the boss was. I like saving blood for bosses, or until I know where stuff is. Anyway, I'm going to imagine that that labored leap that you stun as a DPS is probably a knockback, and you probably get knocked off the cliff down in, because if you look down, there's a lot of enemies down on this like cliff area. You don't have to go and do, but I'm imagining it knocks you off the cliff into a bunch of enemies. So that's not good. So that's why I say stun it. And we're almost to the second boss, I think. The second boss is not difficult, it's just hella annoying. And I don't use the word hella very much because it's in itself annoying, but it is very, very just, oh jeez, just stop doing that! It's worse for casters, I think, but it's still really annoying as a melee. Here I'm trying to get used to using AoE, because I flubbed up the AoE the first time, you know. I'm not sure if using it on 3 things is efficient or not, but I don't know. My theory is it makes everything die eventually faster, so it's kind of faster even though it doesn't do as much damage. I don't know. Don't know. I keep experimenting. I need to just sit down one day, do some theory crafting, some math, and realize I don't even know how much potency Rockbreaker does. It needs to do more damage than a crit boot shot, or it needs to do more damage than a crit snap punch. Or just a regular snap punch, which I think 3 would do, so I guess it is more efficient with 3, but I don't know that. Just napkin math off the top of my head. Anyway, the next boss is, like I said, really annoying, but not really dangerous. It just chucks rocks at you. A lot of rocks. And there's a lot of unavoidable damage. There's nothing you can do about it. No matter how good you are, you're gonna take damage on the next fight. Well, unless you have like a godly scholar who can just, you know, keep you from getting hit with the best of them, but even then, you're probably still going to get hit. A little bit of a screw up with my targeting there, but it's all good. I realized my problem. Didn't just keep hitting the Drake as much as I wanted to. A skill a lot of DPS never master of what to hit. It's a little chaotic if no one marks, but I've gotten used to people not marking because at level 50, apparently a lot of people do not mark because you really just AoEing at that point. That and the tank should be able to keep aggro on everything by that level, so I mean, if you got a free company, man, just go wild marking if you want, but in a duty finder, I wouldn't look forward to it in the later dungeons. And this coming from a guy, I love marking tanks, but I've accepted the fact that doesn't happen outside of low-level instances. Because I'm a structured guy. I like knowing what's gonna die and when. I like killing one thing early and lowering the overall damage output. But that's unfortunately not the most efficient way, so normally not the way people do it. And Tallard, or however you want to pronounce that, you're gonna see exactly why this thing is very, very annoying in about 20 seconds. See? I remember to use blood for blood. I remember sometimes, not the cleanest opening ever, but it was an acceptable opening. I didn't put Touch of Death on, but whoopsie. Do I put it on before blood for blood goes out? That's the question. 3, 2, 1... Yes, I did, barely. At least I didn't majorly screw up, I just wasn't optimal screw up. But yes, you can see a bunch of AoEs going out, and I've heard those hurt really bad. I wouldn't know, but I heard those hurt really bad. Boulder Dash is the unavoidable thing you just can't do crap about. I mean, there's no marker, there's no nothing, it just hits you. So if you're a DPS, throw up a Bloodbath, throw up a Second Wind, whatever you got. Help the healer out, let him do some more damage, man. The more damage he does, the faster this whole thing goes. I'm not watching our healer, what he's doing. Yeah, he's damaging, he's using arrow too, he knows what's up. And since I know what to do, I'm just gonna make this go faster. Not sure how much more that actually did, but usually better to limit break on a boss instead of just letting it sit there unused, you know? Unless you know for a fact the next boss is like, you know, next room like in Praetorium or something like that. Then you probably shouldn't, but I was pretty sure that was not immediately thereafter. What is a Jade Crook anyway? I'm not a crook. Why did I just go Nixon on you? I don't know. I guess because there's a bunch of Nicks on here. I don't know. There's no more Nixes. That was a terrible joke and terribly out of place, I might add. And we got the return of the Switch, which this tank is ballsy. Those things hurt, those explosions. You don't sit by the orange crystals. That's pretty obvious, but I guess the tank knew he trusted his healer and he knew he could live through it. kudos, it sped up the run quite a bit after the previous wipe. I find it a little hard to aim Howling Fist and Rockbreaker, but I guess that's just practice makes perfect. You know, at that point, I'm just not really capable of getting... I don't know, I just rambled and forgot what I was talking about. I was going to say I couldn't really do my positionals there. By and large, though, this tank was really good as far as letting me easily hit my positionals, except for a few points like that, but that's not a big deal. And the last boss is just not good if you rely on positionals in the last half, or the last third of the fight, but you don't really need it. I mean, it's nice to be able to hit your positionals as a monk, because that's a lot of your damage, but I don't think I avoided that. No, I totally just ate the 200 TP thing. Is he curing me? No, he's not. Okay. I was gonna say, I healed myself, man. I don't need the heal. I appreciate it. I guess I needed it after that, but... I guess I'm more suited to a free company healer that knows I can take care of myself. I mean, I don't blame the healer. I wouldn't trust me either, especially after I got us killed before, but... what are you gonna do? Like I said, I can't fault the man, because I did accidentally pull stuff before. He probably doesn't trust me, nor has he any reason to trust me. And here I am just basically taking it upon myself to do the job that no one really wants to do. And as a monk, it's the little things that count, like putting on your Fists of Earth so you don't take near as much damage from this. Which is a very good thing I did this, considering we pulled ads right before that. Always remember to put your right buffs up, friends. Always do that. I don't think I even had... No, I guess I did have Bloodbath. I was just being lazy and tunnel visioning. Whoops. Anyway, we're like in the last 2 or 3 trash pack pulls. There's not a lot left of the dungeon. The final boss is actually kind of fun too, I might add. It was fun. Well, you know, after I learned the mechanics of the fight and didn't screw it up, but... there is a way to hit your positionals here. I was just really being lazy, which is not... Yeah, you can just do this. But so make sure you do that if you are a monk. If your tank decides to just sit on the hill. Now, you don't have to fight those things. You don't have to fight the Hellbound Warriors right there, which I did not know about. I'm glad for... I hate to give the man a nickname Old ED here, but yeah, Old ED here just decided to show us how to skip that, which by us I mean me, because these other gentlemen here probably already knew that. But I don't know that. I mean, heck, is that the level 50 White Mage stuff? Because I'm wearing the level 50 Monk stuff, man. He might be newish to the dungeon as well, I don't know. I don't even know what that set is. Oh well, I like that White Mage's robe though. I've always liked White Mage or Priest robes though in games. Always have. I mean, my first MMO character ever was a priest, believe it or not. Of course, I later found out I hate the priest, and then I made a paladin, but, you know, it's ancient history now. Anyway, I think that was the last no, there's one more trash pull. Right, the Hellbound Warriors here. And if you have your graphics set to high, that is really hard to see a damn thing when you go through the crystals. Just make sure you don't walk into an explosion. Excuse me, I'm sorry. I mean, I shouldn't have to tell you that, but you'd be surprised with some people in MMOs, let me just put it that way. Again, I never know if I should AoE, because my thinking is, there's a summoner in the group, and as far as I remember, summoners are the kings of AoE, right? Because they have Bane, they have a bunch of dots, they can spread using Bane, and they just overall, you know, a good overall killing speed. The problem with single targeting, like I tend to do, is it kind of wastes the summoner's, you know, damage. Because if I AoE, and they're AoEing, everything dies faster, whereas if I single one down, part of their damage is just being neglected and just wasted. So, I never know what to do, so I just kind of wing it. Anyway, as far as I remember, I think this used to be some kind of final boss of 1.0 or something. I never really completed 1.0. I played for like a week and couldn't stand the grind back then, but I think this guy used to be a final boss. And by final boss, I mean like the end of the story final boss, not like... Well, I guess he is the final boss of this dungeon as well, but... There's not a whole lot to this fight other than don't sit in front of him if you're not the tank, and... you'll know it when you see it. I screwed up my rotation terribly there, holy crap. I don't know why I thought I'd use my third maneuver, I had not, but whoops. Anyway, this is the mechanic they're talking about, or I was talking about, I think, coming up here in a second. Yeah, that purple tether, which I did not know about. I was like, oh crap, he's invulnerable. Whoops. So I thought I'd be a smartass, go over there, and then just... Whoopsie, I'm still targeting the boss. Screw up number 3 in the dungeon. I was trying to shoulder tackle to the crystal, because you're supposed to, you know, hit that. If this had been a DPS check, we would have failed that due to my own incompetence, but... Live and learn, I guess. Just, like I said, don't sit in front of the boss, he hurts like hell. At least looking at the tank's health ping-ponging over and over again. And, yeah, he has a minor AoE around him. I think he hits for, what, 600? So, if you can, try and help you heal out with either Bloodbath, Second Wind, something, you know, help out a little bit. Beyond that, though, when he turns around, don't just go where the tank is. He's going to turn back around, so I almost fell into that mistake the first time. You can tell these people have, like, learned the fight, and I'm just kind of trying to learn on the fly, because I'm a little slow. But apparently somebody liked that I was actually trying to learn. I'm not sure how much that does, the AoE, but I didn't really care to find out firsthand either. So, there is a trick as far as limit breaking in this, and you are going to want to limit break. The problem is, it's kind of hard to time unless you know this fight like the back of your hand, because it seems random when he does his AoEs, but I don't know if it is. I think it's after the 3rd crystal it happens. I think. What happens is, after the 3rd crystal, he... Oh crap, what was it? He throws like a bunch of AoEs on the ground that hurt like hell, so try not to sit in them. See, I'm getting better. A little bit. And on this mechanic sucks. If you're the one targeted, try not to be right next to your teammates. I was trying to go back around so they wouldn't have to dodge like hell. I screwed up and I actually killed the summoner. Yeah, didn't even notice he died. Oh shit. Well, my bad, everybody. Anyway, yeah, you don't want to just like limit break willy-nilly and then just like get it, like in a void pitch. That's bad news bears. But you can make a few mistakes, as you see. It's not the end of the world. You just don't want to make a habit of it, essentially. Oh god, I remember this now. I was like, oh Jesus Christ. I guess I'll have to walk all the way around and then walk all the way around. I mean, it would have been nice if the tank had moved him just a tiny smidgen, but it's not a big deal. It's just the pet peeve of a melee DPS, that's all. Still killed him very easily. Well, I think that's called very easily. We didn't wipe, so I'll call that easy. And that's Dzemael Darkhold. Really not a bad dungeon as long as you don't screw up terribly, like I did a few times. But even if you do, as long as everybody else kind of makes up for it, you're cool. And that's it. Now we got to turn it into, what's his name, Riki? Or her name, I think it is. Is it Riki? R-H-I-K-I? I'm not sure how you pronounce that, but don't even ask me why I was in Overlook. I think I was on YouTube waiting for the queue, and that's where I was at the time, but after this, to go to the next rank, you gotta go through Aurum Vale, which is like the stuff of nightmares, or so I'm told. Because there's a lot of boss mechanics there that, if you don't know about it, you're gonna die. Kind of like Coin Counter is one of them. The other one's like the poison mechanics and the other two boss fights. But thankfully I know about them, so hopefully I won't be the one dying from it. If anybody will, it'll be the other people, hopefully. That's the hope. I hope I'm not the one dying and causing a wipe, but wouldn't be the first time now, would it? So yep, turn this in and we'll be able to go up to the next rank, which I think's what? Storm Sergeant, rank 1? I don't remember what it is. What was it? What was it? let's see. I'm currently Storm Sergeant first. I'm going up to Chief Storm Sergeant. Yeah. And then after Aurum Vale, I think it's maybe one more trial, and then we're max rank. Which I'm really late to the party as far as maxing my Grand Company, but I'm doing it just for completionist sake because I'm like that. But that's basically it, I think. Because after this, I think you have to go to... Yeah, it was Aurum Vale. I was trying to remember if it was 100%. Yeah, Gilding the Bilious. I've been not looking forward to this for a long time. But maybe it won't be as bad as I think it will. I mean, I've thought Sunken Temple of Karn and Dzemael Darkhold would be terrible. They weren't terrible, they're just... But I've heard Aurum Vale's much worse, because they sink you at 49 like dicks. Like, they couldn't put it to 50. No. It's 49. But that's going to be it for today, guys. Hopefully this helps you in some way, shape, or form, or entertained you with my rambling. And hopefully I shall see you next time. Farewell, everyone. Until next time.